Greetings, y'all, and welcome back to Snowfog Outdoors. I'm Diane, and today's video is a tag video. So it's going to be a little bit different type of video than what I'm used to doing, but that's a good thing because change is good. I was tagged by txlilstar63 to show the top 10 items I would take in an SHTF situation. Now, should that occur, our plans are to stay put, to bug in if it's at all possible, and that's for various reasons. But if I had to grab and go, I'm pretty sure I would want these items, if not similar items, with me. Now, txlilstar63 really didn't specify as to what constitutes an item, whether it be a single item or if a kit counts as an item. Well, I have a lot of kits because they're functional, they're packable, they do a multitude of different tasks, and usually each kit works with another kit or enhances that other kit. So with that being said, maybe I'm breaking the rules for this video, I'm not quite sure. But in any case, if you're in a situation where you gotta, shit and get pretty much, there are no rules as to what you take. You just take what you think you need for yourself, your family, for your area. And even though we have several acres of wooded area here, we're technically still in the city limits. So I can either be deep in the woods in a half an hour, or I can be in town in the city in 2 minutes. So, and it all depends too on what the situation is for when the crap hits the fan. If it's a power outage, if it's an EMP situation, if it really all depends on where you're going to go and what you're going to take. But with that said, these are the items that I would take. First and foremost, I would take some kind of weapon. The weapon is clear, it's not loaded, no round in the chamber. I would take some kind of weapon, and in my area I would choose to probably conceal that weapon or carry it openly. It really doesn't matter, but I'm going to want some form of protection with me, first and foremost. So I would take my Ruger and, of course, extra ammunition. Cutting implement, I would take my Condor, a primitive bush knife, simply because it's easy to go in the pack, it's easy to slip through your belt, and it is a large blade that can do anything. It can do fine work, it can do heavy chopping. Face it, you're not going to be building a long-term shelter, more than likely. You're going to be moving from place to place to place to get to your destination of where you need to be. So it's from point A to point B to point wherever you need to go. Alright, so we have the cutting tool. We have the weapon. Next, of course, would be a very well thought out and complete first aid kit. This was a stock first aid kit I did get from Walmart. I took some things out and I built my own kit around my needs, or Mandy's needs. Oh, I should say, and Mandy's needs. And put a lot of extra stuff in here. Basically, the only thing this kit is lacking is the doctor. So, a really good first aid kit. Second of all would be some form of shelter. Now, I do have a British Army tarp. Basha, however you want to say it. And I chose this tarp because, depending on what's going on, you're not going to want to release your location to others. So I originally thought of a poly tarp, but then when I rethunk it, I'm like, I don't want a tarp that's going to be crinkling and crackling and making noise in the breeze or whenever I move or anything like that. So I chose this tarp. It's completely waterproof, seam sealed nylon. Um, it's got like 12 tie out points, grommets on all four corners, and I believe it has 3 tie out points in the center, 3 pitch tie out points. So if I wanted to open up the shelter, you know, depending on the weather, to get air, or if I want to bring that shelter right down low to the ground for concealment, I have the option with this shelter. And I do have some paracord. I got about 12 to 15 feet wrapped around the outside. Snug Pack, Stasha, or Stasha, depending on how you pronounce it. This is also, it's 64 inches by 96. It can also, it's a tarp, made from nylon. Excuse me. It also can be used as a bivy sack. There are snaps on it. So with this, what I would do is, I would use my regular British tarp here. I would use this as a bivy. And inside of this, I believe, yes, I have a space blanket. So all the shelter needs are taken care of right there. And this would easily, you know, take care of me. It'd be stretching the bivy a bit to take care of a second person. But if I had a second person, which I would, you know, they would have their own bug out bag as well. And to go with the shelter kit, there's another kit, and it is full of, what is it full of? I have some 55-gallon drum liners in here. I believe I have 2 of them. I have 1-inch Gorilla Tape. I also have aluminum stakes in there. I believe there's 6 in there. More paracord, bank line, and some bungee cords. So with these 3 items, there is a very well completed shelter kit. All right, let's get these out of your way. A good headlamp, only because you're basically going to want to be hands-free wherever you're going. And I have the Princeton Tech headlamp. I have extra batteries in there as well. This headlamp has the different lenses that go with it. They have red for night. I believe the blue is for map reading. And the clear, it's got high-low, it's got strobe, and I believe SOS on it. So you at least want to take a headlamp with you. Some form of fire kit. This is just one of my backup fire kits that I just usually throw in my pack if I'm going out. Excuse me, especially if I'm going to do like primitive fire, stuff like that, and the weather gets crappy. I have an extra, very reliable kit that I know will get a fire going. There's a Sparky in there, and waterproof, stormproof matches, a tampon, Vaseline soaked cotton, jute twine, Tinder Quicks, and wet fire, and fat wood, a lighter, an extra ferro rod. There's just a ton of fire making capabilities in this kit. And like I said, this is just a spare backup kit that I have, but it's complete, so I would probably take that as well. Compass and a map of my area. I'm not too familiar with my navigation around here. I mean, I am in my woods, on my land, but if I had to go somewhere different, I'd kind of want to know what's up. Plus, on this compass, there is a mirror that you could use. I don't really think you'll be using it for signaling. I mean, you may, but it's always good to have a mirror. Injuries and, you know, when the crap hits the fan, you at least want to look good, right? So a map and a compass. This stuff is not included. This just came out of my bag. My cook kit. I struggled with what to take for a cook kit. I mean, and don't, you know, these are the types of items I would take. Depending, again, like I said, on the situation, the weather, and other components, I might pick different gear, but typically this is what I would take. I thought about throwing a saw in there, and I'm like, nah, you know, I don't want to waste the energy and calories on sawing wood for anything. I mean, I have a shelter system. and you're really not going to be building big shelters anyway. So my cook kit. I do have a jet scream whistle on there and an extra little Lumo flashlight, just to see around our location at night, you know, to look for stuff. It's not, I mean, it's bright, but you can easily tone down the light on it with a leaf or, you know, something from your kit. Okay, so in here I have a bandana, some portable aqua tabs, and P51 can opener, a lighter, and then another extra fire steel. I'm not going to pull the cook kit out, but it is the Pathfinder water bottle with the cup that my awesome girl Jessie sent to me. Jessie from Jessie's Mountain. Hey, girl. I got to call you soon. And a Pathfinder stove. You're going to want to be able to heat water, purify it, or maybe cook up some food if you can get your hands on it. And you're not going to want to rip roaring fire in a situation. This will also afford you a little bit of light in your camp and maybe a little bit of heat where your sleeping area is going to be, or if it's just a rotten, cold, rainy, snowy day. You won't be expelling a lot of energy cutting up firewood to keep a fire going. You just have a little, you know, it just sits, and then you put your cookware on there and you just feed it through here, and you have a little fire. So that's probably the best bet, or any little type of, you know, firebox or something like that. But my firebox stove is extremely heavy, and I wouldn't want to lug that around for very long if I didn't have to. In the front here, I have a variety of things. Come on, it's got my fish mouth spreader. I have some soup. I have a couple coffees, silver duct tape, a fish mouth spreader, a mosquito net, a ceramic little pocket knife, a pot holder, my little spatula and whisk. I forgot that was even in there. Spork, or a spoon and a fork, and the some camp soap, and the lid to my Pathfinder cup. So those are the 10 items that I would typically take if I was getting out of Dodge. The schmog is not included. That's just there for aesthetic purposes. And my cat was rolling up in it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Plus whatever EDC I carry on my body all the time would also be included in my getaway gear, which would be another knife, possibly a multi-tool. I don't carry a multi-tool every day. I have an EDC Maxpedition pouch that I use for my EDC. I believe it's the Maxpedition Mini or the Micro, or the Maxpedition Mini or the Maxpedition Micro. I'm not sure which one it is. But I have a variety of things in there that I use every day, and I carry in a cargo pocket or front pocket. And what else? That's probably about it. But if I know I'm going to be bugging out somewhere, I'm probably going to fill my pockets with a lot more stuff, just because. So that's the video. And because it's such a busy time of the year, I'm gonna tag 2 people. But if anyone at all wants to do the video, consider yourself tagged. It's interesting to see what people take for their skill levels and their area that they live in and stuff like that. I'm going to tag my sister from another mister, Miss Dawn at Southpaw Bushcraft. And I'm going to tag Gunner from Cool Kids Survival. So Dawn and Gunner, you've been tagged. Let's see what you got. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.